Sanbonani Dumelang, hello and welcome to the Unbecoming The Ordinary podcast. I am your girl Eunice Temba, and today I am recording all the way from Nungwi Beach, Tanzania in Zanzibar. Sanbonani, if you are a new listener, I'd like to take this moment and welcome you. You are on a journey of unlearning and unbecoming all the things that people, society, and experiences have told you to be. To my OG listeners, I know it's been a while. Apologies, exams got in the way, and I think I'm just starting to be a perfectionist because today's episode was recorded about a month ago, but then life got in the way and I didn't want to post for the sake of posting, but I wanted to make sure that it is legit proper because I love you that much, guys. So just a quick fun fact before we get into the deeper stuff. This is something that I learned a few days ago when I arrived here in Zanzibar, and this is something that I didn't know, and who knows, you probably don't know this too, and so allow me to share. So I just recently learned that Tanzania has two presidents. So Tanzania is for the parliament and Zanzibar actually is for the representatives. They also have two flags. I thought that was a really interesting because, hey, Tanzania is just a neighboring country, and this is a simple fact that I didn't know. Anywho, today I am joined by Nobuhle Blossom. So this is a new friend that I literally met a few weeks after I got back from the United States. So she sent me a quick DM on Instagram and she was like, girl, you inspire me. I'd like for us to meet. I was like, I'm not really sure, but yeah, let's do it. And so like a few weeks after that, we met at the mall for like an ice cream date because I was craving ice cream. So we met, we had a chat, and I actually felt that we resonate quite a lot. And guys, I have to say that the amount of growth that has taken place from the day we met till the day that we recorded this episode is just phenomenal. It is proof that God is at work, and that if you put your mind into something and you are consistent, you will indeed go a long way. So I hope you have a pen and paper with you because you are about to take some really good notes. Homegirl is about to educate us. And if you haven't listened to the first episode of the financial series, I actually really encourage you to do so, because on that episode I was talking about the master key of riches. And guys, on that episode I was also dropping some bombs which can actually equip you on your journey to financial freedom. Without any further ado, let us meet on the other side of the show. Sanbonani Dumelang, hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Unbecoming The Ordinary. If you are a new listener and haven't listened to last week's episode, let me take a moment to welcome you and update you on the new show's name. We have now transitioned to Unbecoming The Ordinary, and we are all about rewriting the rules and unlearning all the things that people, society, and experiences have told us to be. Today's episode marks the first show of financial series, and it just occurred to my soul that we cannot wait any longer to start working on our finances. We cannot wait any longer to start affirming ourselves as wealthy people. And today I am joined by Nobuhle Blossom, a teacher, an entrepreneur, networker, co-founder of Golden Bliss Events, and an aspiring author. Hello and welcome to the show. Blossom, how are you today?
Hi, thank you very much for the warm welcome and the wonderful welcome. I feel so honored to be on the show today.
Alala. There you have it, guys. And just to share a bit, I remember how we met.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I felt like I was being stalked.
Sorry, hey.
I just legit got a Instagram text. She told me how she likes the podcast and how she's been listening, and in my mind I'm like, it feels so good to be having followers, and only for me to later realize that we're actually in the same institute. that was very nice of you. Still appreciate the day that you reached out, and that was later followed by a simple date, which I feel was just godly and meant to happen. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, and honestly, like, I really wanted to meet you. You're one of those people that I was always looking up to, since you've opened your own non-profit organization and you were involved in so many things. I truly wanted to meet you and get to know you a little bit better, and obviously feature you in my upcoming book, in which I'm currently writing. I'm in the process of writing. So yeah, it was, I think that date was meant to be, that connection was clearly meant for us to meet and just to know each other a bit better.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And honestly, when I thought of this podcast, I was like, there is no better person who can do this topic other than you, because from the day we met and I've been looking at your progress, and I'm like, a year can really do a lot to a person. Like, in 1 year, a human being can really achieve a lot only if we are committed and accountable for what we stand for. Today we have a book review, and this is following the book review that I did on my solo episode on last week's show, which is The Master Key of Riches. And if you haven't listened, my dearly beloved, I encourage you to go back and catch up. I know you are a bookworm, pretty much like myself. And I know a lot of people who think that reading is a hobby, but for people like yourself and I, and a lot of self-made millionaires that I know, reading is not even a hobby, but it's a lifestyle.
A lifestyle, a necessity, something that should happen almost on a daily basis.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
So I'm just out of interest sake, what's the one book that you've read and which you can say has completely changed your perspective with regards to how you see yourself and how you treat money? Because I strongly believe that if you want to make money, you gotta treat it with respect. So let's hear from you.
Definitely. So I've read a couple of books on financial literacy. So it's a journey that I deliberately wanted to go through, since knowing that I'm an aspiring millionaire, and I want to get my riches straight and my financial literacy straight. So I read a couple of books by Robert Kiyosaki, which is a series of him, but today I'm just going to do Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is one of my favorite books of all time. I've read it twice already, so I feel like this book just resonates with me, and also like it keeps me intact in terms of knowing how to manage my wealth, and knowing how to accumulate wealth, and knowing how to protect my wealth also.
Oh my gosh, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
I like it. Yo.
Right. So, yeah.
The purpose of today's podcast is to help individuals who would like to read but don't really have the means of buying this book, or simply don't have the time to sit down and read because of life demands. You know, I always say that we are all fighting our own unknown battles. Do you mind giving a brief summary of the book?
It's a story basically about two boys, Mike and Robert himself. So Robert and Mike were two best friends. So they were trying to make means of, they were trying to make money, right? So it's basically a story about those two dads. So Robert classified those dads as poor and rich. So the poor dad is his father, and the rich dad is Mike's father. So the poor dad is well educated with a PhD, and rich dad is just dropped out of school in 8th grade, and he's one of the top wealthiest person in Hawaii. Basically, Robert Kiyosaki just highlights 7 principles, or rather 7 lessons, in which he speaks more in detail about in the book. Just to summarize, I'm just going to go through the 7 lessons that he highlights in his book. Right. So the first lesson is that the rich don't work for money. So the rich, basically here he tells about that. he says that the rich don't trade their time for money. So they spend their whole life trying to accumulate assets, trying to accumulate a base of assets and let the assets work for them so that they can spend their time with their families and spend their time just traveling the world and doing whatever. So when you want to be rich, you just have to accumulate your assets. You just have to accumulate your assets and get them in order so that you can have your free time and not trade your time for money, just like having a job. And not that it's a bad thing having a job, but just accumulate assets so that assets can work for you. So yeah, he also mentioned 2 emotions that I feel like they govern us, like in terms of how we look at money. So those emotions are fear and greed. So if you do not get those emotions intact, you'll be trapped for the rest of your life. So basically what he says is that when you are too fearful to take risk, you are more likely to lose. You are more likely to lose in life. And when you have greed, you are also more likely to die poor, because if you can take it maybe into the South African context, we see a lot of celebrities or music stars or sports stars. They have money and they only think for today, and when they die very poor. Because why? Because they have this emotion of greed. So they don't think for tomorrow, they only think for today. So I feel like those emotions, we should get them intact so that we can manage our money very well. So the second lesson is on financial literacy. So here he speaks about improving your financial intelligence. So things like reading your books, listening to podcasts, but he doesn't mention that you should listen to podcasts. It's just an addition from me to say that you should listen to podcasts or you should attend relevant seminars, things that will sharpen your financial IQ. So those are the things that you should take into consideration when you want to increase your financial intelligence, because money without intelligence is money soon gone. So it's very much important that we get our intelligence in order so that we protect our wealth and also we accumulate wealth very fast, because money is more of a mind game than it is of a paper game. So you have to manage your thoughts very well around money. You have to equip yourself financially. You have to equip yourself intelligently about money, because intelligence, like it solves problems and it also produces money. So I feel like financial literacy is very important, and I feel like it's something that we should all learn to practice, just to equip ourselves with books, equip ourselves with just listening to a podcast or an audiobook or something that will work in your favor, just to increase your financial intelligence.
Guys, I am so educated right now. It is not even funny. Like, I'm just looking at her in admiration, because I'm like, if I did not know better, I'd say she is the host of the show, because she just took the sports away from me. I'm like, guys.
Wow, all right.
Like, I've read that book,
Yeah.
But, it's, what can I say? You just increased my knowledge, because sometimes you read but you don't really understand something, and up until somebody comes to you and explains it to you, and right now you've just re-emphasized. And without any further ado, so thank you for giving such a beautiful summary. To those who haven't read the book, surely by now you are inspired to go and check it out and get a copy for yourself, because there is indeed a lot to be learned. I know you've just recently established a business with your partner Rolene, and like David Osborne always says, wealth is a choice. You can decide to earn more, spend less, save more, and learn to invest that savings for growth. And with all of that being said, can you talk about the book and how it's relevant to the business that you are now running?
All right, so basically the book has taught me a lot about the power of cooperation.
And if I can disturb, was this before you started the business or after?
So I read the book after I've started the business. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I can say that the book has taught me a lot in terms of business, because it also highlights the fact that it has 4 quadrants, right? So we have an E, an S, a B, and an I quadrant. And I feel like it's very much important for a business person to position themselves in terms of these quadrants, because in the E quadrant, he does explain that in an E quadrant, it's more of owning, it's more of being an employee, so having a job. And then S quadrant, you own a job, so it's like your small business. If you are not there, the business will not function, so it depends on you. And then the B quadrant is owning a system, and then the I quadrant is money working for you. So in terms of partnership and all of that, we decided to position ourselves in the B quadrant, because we are formulating a system whereby even if we are not there, the business runs itself. Yeah, even if we are not there, we train people, and that is the power of teamwork and investing in each other. So I can say that.
And you know what I like about this so much? I've been reading The Master Key to Riches. And to those that have not listened to last week's episode, I really do encourage that you go back and listen. And one of the key principles that Napoleon Hill talks about is that you must have the mastermind. And the mastermind is only associate yourself with people who think in the same way that you do, because they're going to influence you to be better. You don't want to be having discussions with people that don't have the same values like you, or don't have the same objectives with you. So it really warms my heart to hear that you've also partnered with somebody, because I always say we were created to connect.
Yeah, no man
is
an island, so we just need to work with each other, need to work together, so that we can have the success of yeah.
So I have recently read T.D. Jakes' Destiny, and although it is not a financial book, but a lot of aspects that T.D. Jakes touches on are relevant to acquiring wealth. You know, he's always talking about purpose, planning, taking action, and surrounding yourself with the right people, and being accountable for what you do. So now I want us to talk about networking, because girl, when we met, you were not even in those spaces. She was all about writing, and as I keep on following her, I'm like, Miguel is flourishing in all the right places. So take us through your journey of networking. I mean, you are a student to start off with,
yeah,
and you have a business. Take us through your journey of networking and how it has opened up doors for you.
All right, so recently I've partnered with a company called Longrich Bioscience, which is where we do network marketing. So I feel like network marketing is something. Okay, I was trained to do network marketing from last year, but last year was a new thing for me. I didn't understand, but I took my time to invest in the knowledge and knowing about network marketing, and I knew from there on that I wanted to be in that space. So in January this year, I took a decision to partner with the Longrich Bioscience, and it's a great platform. So what we basically do is to form networks of people, is to get people to use the Longrich brand, is for people to market the Longrich brand through word of mouth, because we all know that word of mouth is the one that spreads the most. So right. Yeah, that is basically, in a nutshell, that is what network marketing is. It's forming network and marketing at the same time.
You know, like I said before we started recording, I was like, had I known about trading first year, I would have probably even left school. And this goes back to like some of the opportunities that are available to us that we don't even take, or we take for granted. Because I'm looking here at Education Campus, a lot of students are funded by Funza, which gives like lump sums, which gives like chunks of money as allowance. And it just occurred to me that to start a business, sometimes you don't even need a lot of money. 2,000 rand is enough to get you set, to get you started. Or maybe it's just me, because I'm not about that boss life. I don't want to be reporting to someone, and I've just started showing up as the person that I want to be. I enjoy being in my own space. I enjoy being my own boss, being able to wake up and do life as I'm able to whenever I want to, without having to report to anybody. So I just want to find out from you. Let's say there are students just like you. They are busy chowing course, and they also want to channel themselves to all these right platforms, right arenas. You know, what advice do you have, or how would you encourage that we really wake up and start doing something about our lives, because we are not living in a time to be finding employment, but it's a time for us to actually create employment, especially with all the technology and how it's busy advancing. I feel like there's so much more that we can do if we can just channel ourselves. I just want to hear from you.
Yeah, I think it's about time whereby we as young people start to open our minds and be open-minded to opportunities that arise, because as you're saying that technology is becoming the it thing these days. So you would find that when you go to McDonald's, there's a machine there to do all the services for you. When you go to a garage, there's, the technology is becoming the big thing out there, and it's taking our jobs. So I was attending some seminar few days ago whereby they discussed entrepreneurship, and it's clearly becoming something, but people are so scared of it to a point whereby when you say to a person, I don't want to graduate and work, it becomes a taboo for them. They don't believe it as you becoming this big person through only owning your hustles, owning your side businesses. So they don't believe. So I feel like it's something that we should open our mind to say that there are platforms out there. There are great platforms out there. The only thing that you have to do is to research and know more about them, and just position yourself and see yourself and see yourself being there and doing it, and not minding what other people are saying, or not minding what my family is gonna say. Just keep it going, keep it flowing,
because at the end of the day, it's you that have for the rest of your life.
It's you. And jobs are becoming they're becoming absolute. They're taken over by technology. So it's about time that we wake up and we realize that there are great platforms out there, such as network marketing, such as trading, in which we can. It needs just small investment. So I advise students to just take their small amount from your allowance or from your lump sum to just invest in some form of business, anything that will keep you going, because a job is not guaranteed, and a job will not satisfy you as much as a business can, because a business is your own sweat and tears. You will treat it with respect, and you will show up and do what you have to do.
Guys, she has said it all. Need I say more? Absolutely not. To all of you that have listened, thank you for taking your time to share in with us this absolutely mind-blowing moment. I'm going to allow her to leave her contact details just in case you want to holler up at her. There you have it, girl.
All right. So Nobuhle Blossom is an events manager. So I do events, so I'm going to share my contact with you. So if you want anything, a birthday party, event, any form of event, we do, wedding, everything. So my contact details are 079-151-7899. That's where you can get me on WhatsApp, or you can call me just to book an event. And for those who want to become network marketers, I'm there on Instagram by Blossom_Nobuhle. And I'm also on... You can even holler at me on WhatsApp, or you can call me just to speak about more about network marketing and joining this great platform called Longrich. And also I have a business account which it goes by Golden Bliss Events, Golden Bliss_events, in which you can follow our page there and show some love by liking and commenting. Thank you so much, Eunice, for this platform.
It's an absolute pleasure. I feel like this was more about me learning instead of contributing. Hence, I was like, take the spot, girl. But thank you so much for availing yourself. I always say that I never take anything for granted. I cannot wait to legit look back 2 years down the line when we are doing another big interview and be like, hey, y'all, this is where you started. But there you have it, guys. If you want to get in touch with me, I am available on Instagram and Facebook. I go by Uningitandiwetemba. If you want to share a comment, share an experience, or if you want to feature on the show, feel free to hit me up and let us continue to unbecome the ordinary. We are all about rewriting the rules. Until next time, good morning.